Disclaimer, you could argue there are some mild spoilers in this review. I wouldn't really consider them spoilers, but some people might, so like, yeah, be aware of that. Also, another disclaimer, my concept of this review was that I would do it immediately after watching the movie, so that I would get my first impressions and thoughts out immediately in a very like raw and natural way. And I did that, and as a result, this is not going to be as cohesive as my other reviews, so I would advise you to not just watch this as a regular film review, but also a psychological character study of a man who's struggling to figure out what he's trying to say about something he really enjoyed. A psychological thriller of sorts. Or you can just watch it as me struggling. Whatever you want. Okay, that's enough video time. Okay, well, getting here was an adventure. Okay, let me collect myself. Fuck. I had this idea that I would go watch this movie and then, like, talk about it immediately in my car, like, just right after, you know, get my thoughts out as quickly as I could. And that all completely fell apart due to a lack of planning. So, I get out of the movie, and it's really great, you know, it's just a super fantastic movie, and I'm really excited. You know, I get out of there, and I get myself some more pink lemonade, because I love pink lemonade. And I get into my car, and in my rush to get to my equipment, I spill all of my pink lemonade just right into the fucking cup holders that are in between the seats. So there's pink lemonade everywhere, and it's not even like it's gonna suck into the seats, which I guess is a good thing, but it's all just puddled up into my cup holders. So that's pretty annoying. That fucking sucks. I just go, whatever, hey, I'm here to, you know, record a review, that's what I'm doing. So I go to my trunk where I got my stuff, and I start taking out my camera, and I realize that I don't have an SD card, which you kind of need, but luckily the movie theater that I go to is right next to a Meijer. So I drive to Meijer, I rush in there, get an SD card, my card is declined for some reason, I put my card in again, it's declined again for some reason, I swipe it, that works, got a bad machine, I guess. Get back to my car, put in the SD card, camera battery, completely drained. Luckily, I got some spares. I start putting those in. I somehow managed to cut myself while I'm setting up my camera on the tripod, so there was that too. I get in here, set up, get my audio all together. My wires are totally just blah. And yeah, it was pretty intense. And because I saw this movie specifically, and this movie is edited in a very like fast-paced, flashy, intense kind of way, everything that happened to me, I sort of saw in that light, in that vein. Like, I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta get through here. Oh my god, so intense. This is so intense. I gotta, the sun's gonna go down. I'm gonna run out of daylight. Holy shit. I'm walking through the store. I gotta get my SD card. Oh fuck me. Oh god, why? So yeah, all that took place. But now I'm here, and I can finally do my review, and I do not have my thoughts together at all. This movie is great, I gotta say, right off the bat. Luca Guadagnino, is that how you say his name? Guadading? Luca, I'm gonna call him Luca this entire video. Luca is probably my favorite director working today. I love Call Me By Your Name. I love Bones and All, even though no one else seems to. Suspiria is probably one of the only horror movies to actually really scare me. I just love this guy's filmmaking. This guy is a great director. And so I've been hyped for this movie for a while. The first time I heard about it was on TikTok, actually. Or making fun of Tom Holland because his girlfriend, Zendaya, you know, is getting banged by two other guys. It's a fucking movie, like what? And spoiler alert, that doesn't even actually happen. They were really playing that angle up in the advertisements. It's in the trailer. It's a poster, I think, or it's a picture. They were really playing up the whole threesome thing. Doesn't even happen. There's no threesome in this movie. There almost is, and it's pretty hot, but doesn't even come to fruition. So yeah, I was really excited for this movie, and like I expected, it delivered on basically every cylinder. Where to even start with this? First off, I think the script and the story for this movie is really well done and interesting. Usually love triangles just kind of suck, but this movie makes it really interesting. The actors do a great job. Zendaya, Mike Faist, there it is. Mike Faist, this other guy. They're really fleshed out, developed characters who you enjoy watching. The movie jumps around quite a bit, sort of like my review. Obviously, it starts out in the present, but then it's 13 years in the past, then it's 2 weeks in the past, then it's midnight, then it's this, then it's that. Jumps around a lot, but I was never really confused. I always had a good sense of where I was. Part of the credit for that has to go to the really good de-aging they did on the actors. They did a really good job making the actors look whatever age they needed to be. It didn't feel like a gimmick or anything. It felt like this was the best way to tell this story about these 3 people. And it's a really interesting, sexy story. When it comes to sex and sexuality in movies, I don't think anyone does it better than my main man, Luca. And I'm not talking just sex scenes, but sensuality he does really well in general. He takes things that aren't even like inherently erotic or sexual and makes them like that. He does that really well in Call Me By Your Name, and he does that really well in this movie. I really like that about his style. Like, I mean, it's kind of weird, but hey. He does it in a way that doesn't feel perverse as well, so that's nice. It's not like you're watching porn or anything. It's really tasteful. And most importantly, it doesn't get in the way of the story. It actually helps it. All the technical aspects are really fantastic, obviously. Again, Luca's a great filmmaker. He gets great shots. The scenes of people playing tennis is some of the best editing that I've seen since Whiplash. Like, actually. It reminded me of that frenetic editing that Whiplash does so well. But it also felt unique to this movie. I liked when the camera would become the tennis ball and they'd be like smacking the camera back and forth. Obviously they weren't actually doing that, but like that's the idea. I'm very curious to learn how they achieve that effect. It's probably simple, but like I want to know. Fuck, just thoughts everywhere, man, just I really like the way they establish the relationships in this movie. Mike Faist and the other guy, I don't know that actor's name, I'm sorry, I'm gonna put it on the screen. They have really good chemistry together, and you really believe their relationship early in the movie. It feels really real and authentic, and I like that. I like it when movies can capture young friendship in a really true and honest way. Have I even been in focus at all, or am I just, like, blurry? I put autofocus on. Please tell me I'm in focus. Am I in focus? Fuck. There was a point in the movie where both Zendaya and Mike Faist are really angry at the other guy. Again, spoilers. Zendaya injures her leg. She's in an infirmary or something. And they just start screaming at him, get out, when he tries to, like, come in. Isn't that still his girlfriend at this point? Like, what's the deal? That seems weird to me. Like, you guys are you're that fucking angry at him. I thought that was kind of strange and forced. Most of the stuff that happens in this movie feels very justified, but that moment just really didn't to me. The dialogue in this movie is really good, really well written. I didn't know this personally, but I watched YMS's review on this, obviously, or at least part of it. Not all of it, because I hadn't seen it, but I saw some of it. And apparently the guy who wrote this used to be like a meme. I was not aware of this meme, but I think that's awesome that he used to be a meme and he wrote this awesome movie. Really, it's kind of inspiring, actually. Like, you can go from being a funny meme to being a serious screenwriter. Interestingly enough, at the end of this movie, the audience I saw it with, they were laughing hysterically at the end of it, which I can see why, because it's kind of silly, but also I didn't think it was that silly. I don't know, I'm probably alone in that. This movie did have a sense of humor, and it was a good one. I think some of the creative decisions that Luca makes is just so out there for people that it causes that kind of reaction. Like, he's got scenes of just like 2 men naked, and and he shows penises and stuff. And when it comes to that stuff, a lot of people are still basically children. So there was a lot of laughter in the theater I was in, which was also packed, by the way. I was basically alone in the theater when I went to see Bones and all, but for some reason, this movie was just full of people. Why am I saying for some reason? I guess, if you have Zendaya and you make people think there's gonna be a scene with her in a threesome, then you're gonna sell some tickets. That's the moral of this movie, I think. Sex sells. Cannibalism. Yeah, not so much. But yeah, I'm sorry. I am just so scattered right now. I still can't get over how chaotic this process of me filming here has been. I'm trying to think of, like, major complaints I have with it, but I mean, I just saw this movie and I just really had a good time with it. I guess I would have wanted to see a little bit more of Zendaya and Mike Faist when they actually start developing a romantic relationship. It was developed enough and like it worked for the story, but I found myself sort of wondering, does she really not love him? her feeling sort of had me confused, which, I mean, it has the character confused, but, like, you know, I would have wanted that to be more clear. But really, I'm just grasping at straws. I think the movie is very well done. And it looks like I'm starting to run out of light, and I definitely have more thoughts on this, but I need to develop them more. So I really like this movie. I think you should check it out. Sex sells, cannibalism doesn't, and I'll see you in the next one.